As a dominatrix, people always imagine a woman clad in leather or latex with a whip in her hand, ready to beat somebody up or hurt somebody. But as an online dominatrix predominantly, it is quite the opposite. In fact, a lot of it is psychological. I want to tell you about some of the strangest and unique fetish requests that I have catered to. Number one, I had a client ask me what kind of car I drive. So, of course, not wanting to disclose too much personal information, I simply told him the make of my vehicle. The next question he asked me was, how much does your vehicle weigh? Of course, I don't know, but I figure it's probably pretty heavy. Then he wanted to know how I felt about going out to buy some Hot Wheels. Yes, the little cars. And his fetish request had to do with custom photos of me crushing a Hot Wheels under my car tires. Yep, that's what he paid me for. So I took a before picture of the Hot Wheels before I crushed it. Then I took a picture of the Hot Wheels sitting right underneath my tire. And last but not least, a final photo of the Hot Wheels crushed and flattened. He was so happy. He's called me a few times since that time for more photos. And the last time that I did a photo shoot for him of Hot Wheels getting crushed, he told me that the sound of it getting crushed must have been so satisfying. If I had been able to do a better sound effect of it, he probably would have orgasmed just listening to me doing that. So that one is top of my list as being the strangest fetish that I've ever catered to. Second on the list would be a client who calls me up and sends me a picture of his penis, literally as soft as you can imagine. I get a picture of what looks like a very wrinkled black slug, and that's his penis. Then, during the session online, which is always done on cam, I get a bird's eye view, literally, of his penis and him beating it with everything you can imagine. If I can come up with my own creative ideas, well, he loves that. So usually it entails him taking off his own belt and using his belt. He's also used dumbbells or barbells for weights and laid out his dick flat on the countertop and then placed weight on top of it. And then he has to count for me to a certain amount. I think he made it to the count of 30 or 40 last time with like literally a 50-pound weight resting on his penis. At one point, I told him to look for like a wooden spoon or something in the kitchen, which surprisingly he didn't have a wooden spoon. The best thing he could come up with was a grater, a cheese grater, yes. And I think that was of his own doing that he came up with that. Maybe he personally really wanted to use that, and he did. But unfortunately, he hit a blood vessel, and suddenly he was bleeding profusely and needed to go. So that one tops my list as probably the second most weirdest fetish that I've ever catered to. Third on my list would be my mucus fetish client. Yes, you heard me right. Mucus, like the stuff in your throat when you have a really bad cough, which I happen to have a lot of the time because I'm a smoker. So when I really get going and I hit that set where it sounds like I'm about to spit my lung right across the room out of my mouth, that is his most pleasurable climactic moment. In fact, if it can produce that nice grainy phlegmy sound and I can hork that onto a white plate and it's black in color, that's it, guys. Orgasm waiting to happen. That's right. He really loves it when I smoke profusely during the session as well on camera. So if I can put back a cigarette every couple minutes, that's a dream come true for him. Of course, by the end of that session, I feel like I shouldn't smoke for another year or two because I've over-smoked myself. It has got to top my list as well in the top 3 because that's his fetish.